Welcome, welcome, welcome. Club Built Mobile. We are back. We are back. We are back. What happened to here? Hmm, What happened to my lights? They're going out. Oh, they just go out like that. What's going on? Everybody come in, come in. Join the live discussion. This is Club Built Mobile. We are back. We are live. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a little talk. We're gonna have a little chat. We uh we checked in with our people out in LA this past weekend, seeing how things were going. Looks like places are turning up everywhere. Like I said, they're going to orchestrate some type of resistance, some type of made up problem that they're going to initiate and send us into martial law, send us into lockdowns. It's going to get ugly out here, people. So stay safe. Um, stay close to family and friends. Stay on the side of righteous. Stay on the side of good, and you have nothing to worry about. But if you're new to the channel, if you're new here, this is Club Built Mogul. I'm your host, GarrZann. I built this channel up from the scratch. We are still in the beginning phases, but we're on phase numero dos, phase two, where now, as you can see, I have more controls of what I can show you. Is this it? No, this isn't it. Okay, entire screen, boom. Share. All right. So now I can show you exactly a new version of Club Built Mode. We're going to have a discussion about a lot of things. We're going to be bringing people on. Um, you know, we were out at the Taste of Charlotte this past weekend. I don't know. We might be in Florida this weekend. We're going to be in Orlando a weekend. We're going to be traveling, and this may turn into a travel channel. May turn in where I travel to different places and I feel the vibe of the new area. Get to know the vibe of the area and bring something fresh, bring people together, bring enjoyment together, bring an entire new frequency, a new positive electricity to the front so that we all can feel like our voices are heard. So get in. It's Thursday night. We're just chilling tonight. It's not really a crazy day, but it is storming outside. So I was like, why not get on here and do a stream, talk to my people real quick. So we're going to start the conversation. It's a free conversation. I didn't have it as the set topic, but we can start with what we got here. This is live. Okay, what we got here? Open discussion. Come in, come in. Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. That's the- Yeah, that's stupid. 241 killed in India survived. Wow. 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 The only survivor? How does that happen? How are you the only survivor? How did the plane go up in flames and you the only survivor? That's that's crazy. Oh, can't go up high enough. Wow. They plummeted to their deaths in a matter of seconds after taking off. Wow. What did Boeing say? Oh. Mhm. Crazy. My condolences out to the families that were affected, to the people that lost their lives. Man, that's sad. Nobody wants to go through that. That is sad. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. 241 people dead in a single what? 200 people on a plane? Like, come on. We got to have better evacuation procedures for planes because that doesn't make any sense. If you go up in the air and you know instantly you're going down, there should have been a parachute for everybody to jump out. 200 parachutes on the flight, jump out as quick as possible, save as many people as possible. Why isn't our objective to save lives? Have you ever noticed that? Nothing we ever do, the objective is to save the life. Beside outside the hospital, which sometimes even in the hospital, they won't even save the life if there's no insurance coverage. If they don't have insurance coverage and it's your life at stake, sometimes they don't even do it. And I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen before. But that's sad, man. That's sad. That's really sad. Okay, she needs to calm down. Yes, no, money should not be your main goal and objective for anything. If money is your only motivating factor, then you're going to be disappointed a lot of times because honestly, even if you do make a lot of money, you're never going to see the fulfillment that you assume you will. You know, I'm not saying money is hasn't been an issue or money you can't do more with more money. Of course you can, but more money means more problems, more people to um, you know please, more expectations to have. You got more expectations, more responsibilities usually come with more money. So be careful with that entire like strategy of just going after the money. That's just not a it's not a really good strategy to partake in. I mean, come on now. We have a lot of history behind people who've had a lot of money and they were miserable people. We have tons of examples like that. Um, don't waste yourself thinking because you're making a lot of money that you're going to have a successful life in your eyes. Success is very and weighed very differently than how much money is in your account. Promise you that. Let's go to the next discussion. What we got? Migrate. pulling over your work truck. That's crazy. Straight pulling over your work. You going to work. You going to work. And you on your way to clock in. And say on his way to clock in to work. And them boys get behind him. Whoop, whoop. He like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm at work. I'm at work. You see? No, bro, player, you're not going to work today. It's not funny, but it's like, what do you expect? What do you expect? And you have a deportation order, and you're going to just drop. Wait a minute, you in Florida? See, the issue is a lot of these immigrants never got the memo, the real memo of what America really was, or they did get it and they didn't listen to it. Because I mean, I know a few immigrants that I tell all the time, don't think it's sweet out here just because they give you benefits, just because you can get out here and do something and do make money. That doesn't mean that they can't cut you off at any second. And it's just like with government assistance. If you're on Medicaid, SNAP benefits, anything like that, they can cut your ass off in a heartbeat in a second. So if you sitting here thinking you got a free ride or some shit because you got some government assistance or you can work the system, you got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. What's going on, Melissa? How you doing? Yes, there is a war happening. It's multiple wars. It's not just a war. We're talking multiple wars. We're talking many different attacks coming from many different angles. It's not just ICE. It's not just, you know, the FBI infiltrating the city streets. It's not just that. You see, this. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. This is what they want us paying attention to. This is what they want us watching. This, this is what black people are doing while the war is going on outside. This is what we're doing. You see that? That's what they want us paying attention to. They don't want us worried about this. They don't want us paying attention to what's going on around here because that's what they want us focused on. And perfect video to show. This is why black people really aren't supporting the Democratic Party because they want us paying attention to the wrong shit. They want us paying attention to how many waves it's in the dude's head. Who cares how many waves you got? So this guy, let me tell you about this type of black person. See, when we discuss our black people, we're not all the same. Black people can focus on their land if there's a war. Well, that's the thing. Black people are make up many different ethnic groups of people. You don't have just black people and it's one culture. No, black people is multiple cultures fused into each other. That's how they created the black race. If you go back to the documents that identified black as a race, there was other races that went in with it: Negro, colored, mulatto, Indian. All of these, all of these different identifying factors for people went into black. Okay, black is Mexicans. A lot of Mexicans are black. A lot of Asians that traveled over here, Pacific Islanders, were considered black. They came over here from down from Canada. They were all everyone was considered black if you wasn't white. That's how that's how they were able to even the playing field for themselves and even get a step up because white people are only 10% of the population, less than that. So how do they have so much power? How do they have so much wealth and gain that? They split everybody up. And then when they split everybody up, they designated them under black and said, "Oh, you don't get rights, you don't do this, you don't do that, you're treated like this," to make up lies and did all they could to kind of confuse people. He's one of those confused black people where he's saying, "We don't want you in our country. We don't want you here. Deport them here." When 5 years ago, well, not even long ago, the same people that are saying this were, "Oh, we need to go to Africa. We need to go and be attached to our roots." And no, which one is it? Are we from here? Is this our country, or are we from Africa? Which one? Because it doesn't make any sense to be upset at a group of people that came over here and chose to come over here, and you're trying to kick them out, but you yourself claim you're from somewhere else. You're African, you got African roots, but you won't even go over there. You won't even go over there and try to get a citizenship. It's weird. So let's listen. Let's just see how far gone he is. So we're gonna listen to this guy soon here. He is part of that confused group. He's going to sit here and coon it up for American. You're the thing is, okay. He said you're an immigrant. You're waving a flag from a country that you don't want to live in, while you're tarnishing a flag of a country that you're trying to live in and trying to get benefits and rights from. Yeah, it's a foolish stance to take. It's a foolish thing to see, but without knowing the history, without knowing the truth behind that American flag you're seeing right there on your screen, then yeah, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, these immigrants, you got to go, yada 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 yada." See, the issue is when you take it upon yourself to enact those types of politics to say, "Oh, you're illegal, you don't belong here." You're putting and instilling that very same white supremacist mentality that tells people where they should go, that tell people what they should do. Oh, because I can kill you if I want to, because I can act out and be a murdering terrorist threat to your people. You should listen to what I say. It's a bullying tactic. We have a bullying tactic towards these immigrants, these illegal immigrants, and immigrants that probably are waiting to get citizenship. You have a bullying tactic. Oh, why didn't you do this? Oh, you didn't do this right. Oh, you can't do that. Or get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you here. What about all the fruits and vegetables you get in your grocery store? A lot of those fruits are picked by illegal immigrants. A lot of these companies hire illegal immigrants to work for them, and they pay them shit wages. They don't want to pay for the real amount it takes to salary amount it takes for someone to work under you. They don't want to pay that, so they pay these illegal immigrants to do it. So while you're kicking all these immigrants and all these people out the country, while they're all leaving, your prices of all your products are steadily going up. It's going to take longer. It's going to take much more work or someone who charges more to do the work to get you your your eggs, to get you your milk to your grocery store, to get the supplies and textiles to you to your area. It's going to take more work. A lot of illegal immigrants, they were helping the transport, the truck drivers drive. They would hire them and have them drive trucks. I know a lot of companies that hire immigrants that are waiting on their papers to be CDLs, to get their driver's license. You can do all of that as long as you're under a work visa. So there's a lot of people that depend on these immigrants, even yourself, even your own companies, while you're over here saying get the fuck out and saying fuck you and doing all this rude bullying tactics, these usual American racist tactics to a group of people that only are seeking to live peacefully and work. Like there's a different way to go about this. And that's what we're going to start here on Club and More. We're going to start a different way to really address this issue, because force and everything that's happening and talking shit online, that ain't it. Let's listen to this fool. Saying that illegal immigration in total has nothing to do with black people, it's like saying it's like saying the oil in your car has nothing to do with your gas mileage. It's just not true. Just because we're in the oil tank and the gas is being depleted doesn't mean the oil can't suffer if the right gas isn't put in the car, if there isn't enough gas in the car. There's factors that affect us still in this country, and it's maybe a slow leak or maybe something. When you strip away rights from people, when you treat people a certain way, if they're treating immigrants like this, how they going to treat your black ass? Because it's not just illegal immigrants getting deported. It's very legal immigrants, people that have been here for a long time, that pay taxes, that have government benefits, that not have the system, already attached to them, and are maybe getting citizenship because it costs money to get this shit. You saw Trump's charging $5 million for a citizenship. 5 million for a citizenship. Do you think the average uh, immigrant coming here can afford $5 million? They can't. They can't. They can barely afford to even get here. They spend all their money. They spend everything they have to get here. Okay. Then when they get here, they have to spend more money under the system in order to become legal. And that citizenship can take years. It can take 5, 10, 20 years. Yes, millionaires won't even buy the citizenship, but he doesn't need the people you think to buy the citizenship. He just needs the few hundred or a couple thousand people he knows that are rich and wealthy and white to buy the citizenship, to come from other countries, and then he can assign them different tasks to do. Oh, you can be a judge here, you can be a police officer over here, you can be a lawyer here. They assign these people and deputize them even to get certain benefits, to get wealth. They give them wealth while they're here, and that's why they're taking away all these immigrants, and they're sending them away, and they're still denying black people reparations, denying black people programs, and they're stripping government programs. Medicaid's being stripped, food benefits are being stripped, everything's being taken away, while we're sitting here saying, oh, get all these immigrants out, like we're going to get something out of it. It's stupid. You barely have rights yourself as an American citizen. Your rights can be taken away from you soon as you are considered a criminal. And this is what this idiot doesn't realize. Your black skin already labels you as a criminal. whether you like it or not. You're profiled as a criminal. You're seen in the store. You're walked around, seen in the store. People follow you. Make sure you don't steal shit. People call the cops on you for no reason. People are already threatened and assume that you're a threat by you. Like, you're already a criminal in the country that you're sitting in, and you're over here trying to downplay or condescend someone who crossed over a line and now they're illegal, and you're illegal, so you have no rights. The stupidest thing. We have human rights. We have the human uh, responsibility to reach out to the next person and understand their plight and say, hey, we can assist if we can. If we can't, then no. But the fact that America has been here to help asylum seekers, to help immigrants come here, and other people who want to have a chance at freedom, a chance at a real life, and America's been here for that. Why are we not extending that why are we not extending that towards them? Now, I'm not saying we as black people have to. I'm just saying in general, why is that not, why are they being cut off from that? We have to find out better ways to address this issue. This isn't the way to do it, to sit here and talk shit about rights when you barely got rights yourself, nigga. You barely got rights yourself. This nigga Donald Trump is a 34-time felon, is the president of the United States. Do you think a single black man can ever do that? No, ever could. If Obama did half the shit Trump did, he'd be locked away in a jail in El Salvador somewhere. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you can barely afford to foot the bill for yourself? There's a reason for that. Hey, what up? You okay? Hey, you busy? Okay, where that chicken at? Mama gonna cut it up and season it up for tomorrow. All right, now I'm on live right now. Oh God, okay. I'm fucking live. I'm just playing. Nothing on live. I ain't doing nothing. I got somebody donating and commenting. I ain't donating nothing. Let me borrow $20. I just gave you $20. Just bought you food. Oh no, that ain't count. Oh, now that don't count. Okay. So what do count? About 20. Okay. 20. You need the whole thing 20. I already put gas in your car. I gave you food and I bought you shoes. Ain't no shoe. 3 years ago? Ain't no okay. It was today. Okay. Shoes today? Are you kidding me? Okay, now you need shoes. You got enough shoes. I ain't got no shoes. All right, well. I need a cutting board. Use that plate. You got a long plate. That plate is not long enough. Can't do nothing with that junk. Watch a video. It's just a video. I don't know. It's just a video that I'm watching. It's just a video. You do can't. I would like to ask him what part of his tax check, what part of his check goes to help out illegal immigrants and undocumented immigrants. I would like to ask him that question. What part of your taxes go to undocumented immigrants? Let's do a search real quick. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it right here. What part of taxes goes to undocumented immigrants? Undocumented contributors, however, a significant portion of these tax payments go towards programs which are largely ineligible to receive benefits. Do y'all realize this? Can someone show this to him? A significant portions of tax payments that go towards programs these immigrants are ineligible to receive. They cannot claim Social Security. They can't claim Medicare benefits. They can't claim unemployment benefits. They can't claim housing benefits. They make him buy a house if they have money. I think that's the only thing they can do. Pay property tax either directly as homeowners or indirectly through rent. But they got to pay still. They still got to pay. Okay, yeah, buy a house, but guess what? You got to pay taxes on that. You got to pay food. You got to pay to fix up the house. Income taxes can still be taxed. Undocumented are generally eligible for most benefits. So let's see what benefits can undocumented immigrants receive? Undocumented are generally for most benefit. They get emergency Medicaid. That's if they're in a situation where they're about to die. In a situation where they're either pregnant, about to die, or has a very hard chronic condition, has a very serious chronic condition that if they don't get the proper treatment for, they will die for. That's it. They're eligible for short-term benefits, short-term and emergency disaster relief benefits. So hurricanes, natural disasters, loss of home, a fire took out your house, a flood came through. Illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for benefits under our government, under our program. So everything this idiot belligerent fool just said is a lie. What part of your paycheck is supporting illegal undocumented immigrants? You freaking read these people. They don't think. This is why I tell you these people are confused. They're buku. Like, I'm not at all advocating for someone to be illegally here. Okay, I'm not advocating for that at all. What I'm talking about is you're saying that this is affecting you so greatly, so vastly. This is such a huge problem, and it's taking so much money out your paycheck. This is taking so much funds away from you. That's what you're complaining about. But what did we find out here? What did we find out here? A significant portion of these tax payments goes towards programs from which they are largely ineligible to receive. They do not get to receive these benefits from your tax check that you're complaining about. These immigrants don't receive them. So what are you talking about? They still pay taxes. They still pay taxes. They still pay uh, um, for their goods and services. They still have to worry about making a living. Got children. They got. It's this. This is why a lot of people are confused here, and it makes sense. It makes sense how confused you are because how would he know? He has a tattoo on it of a star underneath his eyelid. What type of advice do I want to take from a guy with a tattoo on your face underneath? What type of advice do I want to take from you? You don't even know what you're talking about. What again? Somebody put in the chat. Where are illegal immigrants getting rights, getting benefits from the government? Where? We just discovered that the only benefits they can get is emergency Medicaid. That's in the event that they're dying or pregnant. Okay, and they may be able, a woman and an infant may be able to get some temporary benefits with food and stamps and stuff like that. Temporary. These these people aren't, you're not even, your taxes dollars aren't even going to them. Okay. You can't even sit here and make this argument. The fact that he's making this argument is the reason why he will stand and defend white supremacy when they come and get his black ass. That's the exact thing that will happen as soon as you sit here and you support illegal immigration and deporting them under these manners. No, we have a system to do it. Do it legally. There is a legal way of doing it. If you're going to be just like them, claiming that they're illegal, you're just like them, illegally deporting them for no. You don't have a real process, a due process in doing so. If they're in the process of getting their citizenship, if they have a visa that may have overstayed for a while, there's no reason to rush them out the country. That's just it's just plain bullying at this point. Yeah. These people, again, they only get emergency benefits, food stamps, Medicaid. That's it. They may be able to buy a house, but purchasing a house would get you more taxes, get you more money you got to spend. You got to fix up that house. You got to do everything. If they got the money to do it, then they obviously got the money to get their citizenship. So I'm not understanding why, because think about it. If you're here on a visa, if you're here on a visa, 3-month visa, and you overstay your visa, the day you overstay your visa, guess what? You're a legal immigrant. Now you're considered this bad person who didn't do their paperwork right, and now you got to get deported in 2 seconds because you overstayed your visa one day. Oh, you're a legal immigrant. You got to go. We got to get you out of here. Come on. You pay taxes. You got too many benefits. Da 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 da. You're not making any sense because you're going to, that same energy that you're putting out is going to be put onto you later in the future. That's exactly what's going to happen. Watch. Just sit and watch. Okay. He didn't go into the streets and kidnap people. That's the difference. Just because you deport, no one's saying don't deport. We're saying the method that you're doing it is going to backfire on us. Because now, when Americans want to go somewhere and travel, how do you think Americans are going to be treated, whether they're legal or not? They're not. The people ain't going to care that Americans are legal if we're in there. Like, this is a huge mistake to sit up here and try to tarnish or condescend these people when you're going to want to get your passport and travel your ass over to Mexico. You're going to want to get your passport and go to Colombia, the DR, go to Haiti, go to these places. And they're going to see your American ass and say, oh, you told us to get the fuck out your country, huh? All right, bet. Pull up then. Pull up over here. You in our country now. We can do what we want to do with you now. Pretty much. You ain't got that much support over here. So try that play if you want to. This play right here will get you fucked up. Ooh. Who is paying for this social unrest? Because this is something that was already generated to happen regardless of people paying for it. This was something that, and we talked about the history about how America was formed. This was something that was already on the way. So you can't say that, oh, there's somebody that's behind this. No, this is actually happening in reality. Go to somebody else. Let's go to somebody else because he was talking about the same topics. We're not worried about him. Let's see. We, where has there been a national guard deployed for immigrants? You say Obama and Biden deported immigrants. When have they deployed the National Guard to deport and to arrest immigrants? When have they used ICE in this manner? See, people don't think. They just talk and just think that their words mean something because they go viral or people may tend to stick to them. No, the reason it goes viral is because you're telling lies. You're telling agendas and propaganda. You're not fully disclosing the truth. ICE wasn't used in the manner that is used now with Trump. Just because you had Obama deport more immigrants than whatever in history, he did it in a way that was at least not as brutal as the way that this is being done. This is a whole different task force and a whole different objective and a set of tactics that they use that's been used before that they're using against these people. This is not the same thing. So to say it's the same thing is just ignorant. Think about that. Birthright citizenship, they're trying to do away with. And you got fools up here promoting this and saying, "Oh, deport the illegals, deport them," while they're over there trying to erase your right to be here, erase your citizenship. Your birthright citizenship came through that 14th Amendment. Your birthright to be here came through that 14th Amendment, along with those legal immigrants. Our birthright came through that amendment. So the fact that they're trying to take that away and you're over here saying, oh, deport Mexicans, deport all of them people, while they usher in South Africans, they usher in other Europeans in here, other white folks in here, they're being they're given citizenship when they land. They're given the pathway to citizenship. They're not they're the only deporting the Mexicans, the melanated folk. That's who they're deporting. And they're taking away your rights while they're doing it. And you're sitting here cheering them on. You're cheering them on while they're stripping your rights and deporting illegals, and even people who are illegal, they're deporting. You're cheering them on while they're taking your rights away. Think about that. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Everybody's what's going on, Melissa? How you doing? You still with us? Like the channel, support the video. We're almost done here. We're approaching an hour. And if you notice the amount of racial tension that you see on social media has increased out in public. That's that's the next wave that's getting ready to come. Because once all the illegals are gone, quote unquote, who do you think they're going to target next? Your black ass trying to get you a nice Dunkin' Donut coffee, and you walking in line, and they don't want to serve it to you. Your black ass trying to go to the bank to get a loan, and they don't want to give it to you. Who do you think is next? Taking away your right as you support them. They are taking away your right. Yeah, you have the right to peaceably assemble. The government also has their own ways of making that peaceful protest not so peaceful. Yeah, I can go and hire some mercenaries to go out in the streets, set some fire to some trash bins, throw some bricks at some cars, and then retrieve them back, and then let the chaos ensue from there. Yeah, peaceful protest, there's no such thing because when they want that peaceful protest to no longer be peaceful, they got their tools and their ways of doing that immediately. We seen it with BLM. They had people in masks. They had grown ass men in costumes that worked for the government, worked for the police force in Chicago, in Kenosha, in all types of areas, throwing bricks, setting fire to places. They caught this white chick that was, I gotta find that article. They caught this white chick setting fire to a Wendy's. They send these people out to do these missions to turn a peaceful protest into a riot, turn a peaceful protest into looting. That's already encouraged. They already know the playbook. It's the same tactics used, and they're using it on these people, and they're going to continue using it until it no longer serves them. Okay, he's not ready. All right. What else we got? Talking about. Okay, nobody cares. What makes you want to be a cop? That's my question. What makes you want to be a cop right now in 2025? That's some crazy work. Just sit up and put that damn uniform on every day, wear that badge, and look like a hired snitch. That's crazy. Snitching on your own people. That's what your job is. they some mobsters. That's how you gotta act. You just sprayed them. Yeah, I was afraid of that too. Oh, I'm out of the side. People get in these type of discussions about religion. It's so sad because who are you to be preaching this book and this? I should get my Bible. Who are you to be preaching a book that was altered thousands of times? Like it's the truth. You don't know shit. Either one of them know what the fuck they talking about. He got mad because he said he called his dog Muhammad. What? And you snatching him up? Okay, ridiculous. A Civil War pension was paid until 2020 to Irene Triplet, the daughter of Civil War veteran Mose Triplet, born in 1846, who fathered Irene in 1930 at her age of 83. Due to her mental disability, she qualified as a lifelong dependent and received $73 a month. She was last person to collect Civil War pension 155 years later after it ended. At $73 a month, that should have went up every month. Okay. Where is that? See, and this is the other confused thing people fall in. We're so confused as a people, as a country. It's sad. This man just equated Mexican to being black in America or growing up black or whatever in America. It's sad. It's sad that we sit here and we don't even understand the difference between a nationality and a racial construct. We don't even understand that. Mexican is a race. It's not a race. It's not a construct for race. It's a nationality. It's a country. You're from Mexico. You're Mexican. You're from America. You're American. You're from Colombia. You're Colombian. You're from Nigerian. You're Nigerian. You're Nigeria. You're from Nigerian. It's like, huh? It doesn't make any sense. But you want to sit here and say, "Oh, that's separate from black." No, it's not. A lot of the times, it's the same thing. Just because you're Mexican doesn't mean you can't be black. It's we have a problem in this country where we think Latino, Hispanic, all that stuff equate or is on the same level. Even Jewish is on the same level as black. It's not. These are way vastly different things. Jewish is a religion. It's not a race. Hispanic is a ethnic area, a geographic area where you were born, and what language is actually a language. With what language you speak Hispanic, you speak a Spanish language somewhere in this area or in these areas outside of the United States. You're Hispanic. In the Caribbean, whatever, you're Caribbean if you're born in this area. This has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with it. It's where you were born at. Black was a delineated name to house a group of different people into one, so that we can classify you as this, and we can deny your rights this by this because we can apply it to all of you. We can strip your humanity from all of you by putting you under a singular word, black. Okay? We all are from different areas here in the United States. We have different tribes we all belong to indigenously. And that was a way to, okay, we can't go attack everyone because that's going to, number one, take too much work. Number two, a lot of resistance will come for that. So we can just label all of you black. The mulattoes, the colors, the Negroes, the Indian, all of you get labeled black. Okay. And literally Hispanic, Latinos were formed because they didn't want to be considered black. That's it. So what he's talking about is just nonsense. Listen to how he said that. Like Mexicans can't be niggas. A lot of y'all are niggas. A lot of y'all Mexicans and Latinos, y'all niggas too. Fuck out of here. But people are, I don't know. It's like people's brains are messed up. They don't even, they want to support something so bad. They want to support the American flag so bad when it's betrayed you. And that's going to be the next video. We can talk about America has betrayed you even. And then you have this buffoonery going on. I mean, GD. If you don't know what GD is, it's a gang affiliation. It's like Bloods, Crips, all of that. And I don't know, there's been this obsession to be considered part of one of these gang groups, and it's like you obviously don't have a family of your own. You obviously don't have people that care about you within your family, within your community, that you got to go to a random gang that you heard from somebody that you got to join. Like it's weird to me how people get caught in this mindset that they end up praising. Like he's actually saying, "You're not GD. What you mean?" So you can't be like, is that impressive or something? Hold on, man. Yo,
what you sleep?
Nah, I'm in the room though, chilling.
Bro, you heard that new J. Cole?
Nah.
This shit crazy.
What new? I mean, I heard some of his new shit, Clouds, and he has some other shit. Is it new?
This shit called Pineapple Road.
Pineapple Road?
I was just laying off the jet and I'll be sipping on pineapple rum. Before the sun sets, let's hit the beach, let's have some fun. Cut the sweat to body looking good in the sun. Let mama life get it wrong.
That do sound. Yeah, I need to play that. What's it called? Pineapple Road?
What you say?
It's called Pineapple Road?
Pineapple Road. Pineapple Road. You say you sound what?
Pineapple Room?
Pineapple Rum.
Oh, Pineapple Rum.
You said he sound like what?
I say he sound like you going to fuck off. Pineapple Road. That shit not even pulling up. Bro, that shit not even on YouTube. How are you hearing that? Bro, how are you hearing that? You hear that on YouTube? It ain't on YouTube. Pineapple Rum?
Yeah, you typed it in?
Yeah, Pineapple Rum. It ain't pulling up. Yeah, that shit ain't pulling up. That shit ain't pulling up. That must be brand new.
Yeah, that be brand new. You fucking with it though?
And I heard. Yeah, you know I fuck with Cole.
Yeah, I knew who to call.
You already know I fuck with Cole.
You don't fuck with Cole like that, you would know that wasn't Cole. That's AI Cole. My boy just did that shit. He snapped there. He did that shit.
I mean, if I didn't see it pull up, so I was like, it must be new.
I'm about to play the original version.
I can barely. It sounded like him. That shit sounded just like him. Where you at? No, I was just saying where you was at.
I'm in Charlotte.
Are you still out here? You gonna pull up? Oh, you still out? You driving?
I'm gonna find somebody to drive this shit for.
Were you driving in tonight, or you gonna wait till the morning?
I'm gonna get tomorrow. Before I get this, I'll try to find somebody who want to drive this shit tomorrow.
I need to find somebody to pull up on me with some gas. I'm over here down.
Well, shit, we figure that out for you. But
you said what? All right. All right. Oh, my bad. Oh, man. But yeah, we're going to look at a couple more videos. We're going to talk. But yeah, man, people are just confused. They don't really know what's going on. I know a lot of individuals in this country are just lost. and you want to get behind something, you want to support it, you don't even fully understand it. I mean, for you, if you're a person that's supporting ICE, supporting these tactics, and don't really understand what's going on, you're in a rude awakening. You're in a rude awakening for what's getting ready to come down the line. Oh man, sad, sad, sad. Let's see what else we got up here. Right. I don't know how Zion tarnished that moment. That moment, this Zion was from this area. Zion was from this area that I'm in, and I mean, he was the biggest thing. And I mean, I haven't seen him play an NBA game in so long. I forgot he was still in the NBA. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad, man. That's sad. That's sad. Can we call in? Not all of us are lacking compassion, and that's I want to put this out there for all the illegals or people who are on their side. I guess not all of us are lacking compassion. Um, Me speaking for myself, it's not that I lack any compassion for you. I actually do have compassion and do have a so I feel like I have a duty to actually speak up a little bit for what's really going on because a lot of people are confused. Like I said earlier, it's there's other ways of going about doing what's going on. You don't just snatch someone away from their home and the family they built for lives and thinking that you're going to get and that's going to go over okay with for you in the years to come. It's not. So we have to look at this at a different angle. So it's not a lack of compassion. Right now, it's more of a FAFO, fuck around and find out type of deal. You didn't ensure that your people understood what was going to happen if Trump got elected. And then what happened is he got elected, and now you're turning over to us like you couldn't have resolved this. If the majority of Latino men or Latino women voted the other way, Trump would have lost his election. Simple as that. So it's not a lack of compassion. It's I told you so. It's a, I told you so. That's what it is. Versus deep. Let's go. Let's see. How do you know that anyway? Said 84%. Latin America and Caribbean immigrants accounting for 84% of unauthorized immigration in the United States. So he was close. He said 85. It's 84. He's right there on the money with it. Um, Illegals are only 3.5% to 4.5% of the U.S. population. Somewhere between top answer is like between 10 and 15%. Let's see here. 45% of the U.S. immigrants, 22.1 million people. Okay. So we're getting different numbers. But these are legal immigrants. 45%, 221 million, 2.11, 21.5 million. What percentage of legal immigrants are Mexican? 11.3 million unauthorized immigrants. How do you know if someone's undocumented and all? Or how do you count that number? So you know who's undocumented, who's illegal, and you just known that for so long and didn't do anything about it? That's what's weird to me. So Latin America, Latino make up the largest share, which includes Mexicans and Latino Caribbeans. Well, duh, they're the countries that are right here. So of course they're going to be the largest when it comes to immigration. So you feel that number. That is true. We'll play some video games in a second. Like we don't have people still in packages. What's he talking about? Yeah, 1866 VHS to crazy. I know that. Kind of talking about. What does that have to do with what she's talking about? Yep. Yeah. No, it doesn't imply that. That does not imply that at all. That does not imply that. They're coming for you next is the implication of the tactics that they're going to use in order to come for you. They haven't came from you with the tactics that they're getting ready to come for you for with. Okay, there's a difference. So you're goofy. You're the goofy thinking that they can't revoke the 14th Amendment, change it, make it so your black ass has to reapply for citizenship. They can do a lot of different things. If you don't have a valid ID, you can no longer be considered a citizen. If you don't have a real ID, they can deny you at airports. They can deny your travel. They can put you in jail. There's ways. Trust me, these white folks have ways to do it, and that's what they're talking about. So you're going to be looking like the goofy when they're sitting here changing laws and changing amendments to fit the narrative they want to fit to lock your black ass up or to keep you from traveling anywhere. To this day, easy. We told you. We already told you. Israel strikes Iran. The world is in complete chaos right now. You got wars on top of wars, and the same tactics are being used. Be careful out there. We're gonna play some. We're gonna play some. We're gonna play some. Well, I don't even know if we can do that. Can I go live on my channel? I can't go live on two. Yeah, I'll have to go live. What is this? Let's link another account. Oh yeah, I can't go live on that account. Okay. Let's see. Can we go live? Can we go live? We can go live. There we go. We're going live. Let's go live. We're gonna play some Call of Duty because it's a war out there. So let's get prepared. I don't got no guns. Go. Yeah. Damn. I don't got no scope. Wow, that's crazy. What? Hey, this nigga was- oh wow, reading it out the steps. Oh my god. Damn, damn. That's all I had in me right now. Oh, we play one more. Oh, what should we play? Let's play some Last of Us. Play some Last of Us. Oh, stop. Oh, because I switched games. Okay. A little bit of gaming. I did all right that one. But let's see here. What else we got? Let's see what they're talking about. On site. On site. Yeah, they're not talking. We ain't discussing nothing. Let's continue the show here. Let's see. It's a lot going on. If y'all know what he's talking about, he's talking about the Las Vegas couple that got killed a couple of days ago on live stream. They were streaming live. Guy that they was beefing with found their location. Pew pew, both of them. It was stupid. I mean, I hope that guy gets life in the death penalty. They all saying that. Yeah, we're gonna see how all this unfolds. Uh, let's see what's going on. Okay. We ain't talking about nothing. Yeah, we're gonna see what this. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good right here. This is gonna be good right here. This is where we're gonna end it off. Still didn't answer the question. The guy, he can't really articulate his argument the way he's supposed to articulate it because he's fresh in college, and this guy is probably almost in his 40s. So of course he's going to be able to, cut him off and make him think about other things and take him off his track. What he's trying to say is that you're claiming that I'm in a university. Who do you see around me? How many white people do you see versus black people? You see way more, right? You see way more opportunities given to other groups than you see given to black people. Just because opportunity is available doesn't mean opportunity is given. Just because no one's beating you over your head because you're trying to go vote doesn't mean that they aren't trying to suppress your vote. Just like redlining. Just because you don't have people throwing bricks at your houses doesn't mean they're trying to underappraise your house for a lesser value so you don't get as much money for it, so you can't use that money to go and invest in other things. Because if it's already been proven, if you're a black family, 9 times out of 10, your house is going to be underappreciated when you go and get that house appraisal. If you're a white family, you're going to get an additional 100,000, 200,000 added to your house because it was owned by a white family. So he can't articulate the right responses, and he's getting cut off, so he's not able to think on his feet about it. So it's actually, I mean, he's not wrong with what he's saying, but he needs a better way of articulating it. Let's see if he can actually articulate his argument correctly to this buffoon who is, I forgot his name. He's like a cop. He's a bitch ass nigga. Fuck him. They didn't make you sell it. What? Do you hear this idiot? Do you hear this idiot? Listen to what he just said. We need a clown face of him. Brandon Tatum, that's his name. We need a clown face of him. This nigga just sat up here and said, "Well, they didn't make you sell." No one knew what it was. No one knew what it was. You're in an impoverished area, and this drug can make money. What do you think people are going to do? You think people are just going, "Oh, I don't want to make any money. Fuck it, I want to be broke." No, there are people that are going to step up, just like the crowd of black people that's going to step up and take the money from these labels and be buffoon ass rappers. They're going when you're in having impoverished people and they don't have any other way out, any other opportunity. Of course, they're going to sell it. They live in the most poorest places in America. Of course, they're going to sell it. You already agreed it was planted there, so obviously the agenda was already set for what they were going to do with it. Hit them with the real shit. It's not just money. Hit them with the real shit. If you're gonna do it, You just said it wasn't a cultural thing, you dumbass. You just said it was a selective choice that individuals make. It's not a cultural thing. Huh? He doesn't even know these. This is buffoonery. I can't believe we're watching this. Well, let's let him finish. He's this is the buffoonery I'm talking about. He's trying to say, "Oh, look, you're in college. You have a chance to make it, just like everybody else. You have a chance to make it. Yeah, you're not held back. 200 years? What? That has nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Yeah, your family business was burned down 100 years ago and they never got the money from it. Yeah, your land was stolen 200 years ago and it was worth billions of dollars, but you don't get that. That has nothing to do with you. You have the opportunity right now to get that $1 billion. It's crazy. It's crazy how ignorant this fool is. We're gonna do a segment on this idiot too. We did Charleston White. We gotta do Brandon Tatum. We gotta do the rest of them. These guys are the strong front of white supremacy right now. They are standing in front and they're trying to tell young kids, young students that white racism doesn't exist. History of racism doesn't impact you, doesn't affect you, doesn't affect your wealth. It's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. But I really hope this brother can really give it to him in the truth because he's going all over the place. Stay on one topic. You talk about wealth. You talk about while we're in college. I had to spend everything I got to come here, and I'm in debt. Some of these people, they're not. They can come to school 5, 10, 20 years as long as they want to and afford it. There's a difference between each student here. Every student here isn't the same. And you're trying to put everybody on the same playing field. That's not how it works, you dumbass. Bank loans. Well, he's talking on the script exactly, but this guy, you gotta take him down a certain way because he's going to keep regurgitating them same points. He doesn't. Ask him to explain redlining. Explain redlining. Explain Section 8 housing and how they had targeted black women. Explain Planned Parenthood, how it targeted black women. You're talking all over the place, and you sound like a fool to a bunch of college students. Explain gerrymandering. Explain gentrification. Explain the black codes. Explain Jim Crow. Explain these things, Mr. Tatum, so that you can then say, "Oh, well, you're even level playing field. You have nothing." He's talking to himself. Even the white people don't even want to go up there and deal with this. Look at his face. His face is sitting here like, "Yeah, this is some bull. This guy's some bullshit." I, I would love to have a conversation with this guy. Listen to how he handles this situation. Very unprofessional. Because some people don't go into debt. Some people have the funds to pay for their own college, and the majority of those people aren't black people. The majority of those people are disproportionately white or other Asian, Pacific Islander, or any other ethnic group. Okay, there's a reason for that. The reason you had to pay for college, and a lot of people don't even have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about $11,000, and you have to put up all your money and go into debt just to get to school, to learn, to go into more debt, to go and find a job. That's setting you up to fail right there. That's setting you up to fail right then and there. You're set up, you're failed. And now you're talking to college students looking crazy, don't even know what you're talking about, and just making a whole bunch of jumbo white supremacist talking points. It's sad. It's sad. This kid. Oh, crow. Tatum is scared to debate a actual educated person on this issue. Yeah, we're discussing the Brandon Tatum. Uh, watch as he tries. Or somebody put Brandon has no idea what he's talking about. He's spewing out racist talking points that kept black people disenfranchised for centuries. The kid should have told Brandon to explain redlining, explain black codes, explain Jim Crow, explain how blacks are being denied loans that have the same credit score and the same ability to have income as their white counterparts. And even if when blacks do get loans, they're charged higher interest rates and they're charged more penalties for paying late or anything like that. It's been proven. I mean, we had the Wells Fargo housing crashes where the majority of the house loans that were given out that got taken back, and the houses that were taken from people were from black people because they were illegally giving them loans when they shouldn't have been giving them loans. The people that are continuously targeted is the black community because they're poor and they don't have a voice of their own. So this guy is sitting here trying to equate everybody on this college campus into one person when everybody has their own different situation background. Just because he's here at this college doesn't mean he has the same opportunities as maybe this student over there or maybe this student over here. These two students don't have the same opportunity. They have different family, different background. They have different majors. They have different upbringing, different way. If school got let out today and everybody had to go home, some of these kids wouldn't have a home to go to. Do you understand that some of these kids depend on the student housing to live in a house? Okay, there's no, oh, we're all on the same playing field, or we're all in this together, we're all in this college together. No, if this campus shut down today, no more class, no more, you can't stay here, you can't live here no more, you got to go home. Some of these kids, and a lot of them will be black kids, won't have a home to go to, or they're going somewhere that is not safe for them to be, is not an ideal place for them to live. So you can't sit here and put everybody here on the same platform, on the same playing field. You still live? Yes, I'm live. Hope black men do something about that. We were doing something about this. The problem is a lot of black men that want to have a voice and make changes. They get suppressed. They get suppressed here on YouTube, and we get suppressed out in the open. We get suppressed by our own women. Yes, college is a privilege. We get suppressed because when a black man speaks up and actually speaks facts, nobody wants to listen. But when a white man says it, everybody wants to listen to what that white man said. Get into trades and make money. They canceled the trade programs. Okay, there used to be programs in high school and before you go to college, there used to be trade programs. That's another thing that we need to ask Brandon Tatum about. What happened to the trade programs? Why did they cut the programs they were teaching in school, teaching you how to be an electrician, how to be a carpenter, how to be a plumber? What happened to those trades? You have to pay money to those trade schools. You have to pay money to those trade schools. Most people save their money to go to college. Okay, that's what the indoctrination was set forth for. You can't just say, "Oh, change all your plans and go into trade." Oh, your college funding, your college your college fund, forget that. Go do a trade school. You can't tell kids to do that. They've already had their mind set to go do that, to go to college. Now you're telling them don't have the money, go get a job. Okay, you're 17, you're 18, 19, 20. Where are you going to work that's going to afford you to live, to afford you to go to school, afford you to eat every day, put gas in your car, and still afford you to do everything else, go on holiday, vacations, and stuff like that? You're not going to be able to do that. Mexicans do that. Do what Mexicans do. What are you talking about? Rice, beans, and you're telling some you're telling somebody to get a can of beans and a studio, a room, not even a studio apartment, a room in someone else's house, paying someone else rent with a can of beans and no furniture and sleep on the floor. Do you think that works? Did that work for you? Did that work for you? Who has that worked for? To absolutely ostracize themselves from society, go get a job somehow, just you got a job anywhere, it doesn't matter where, can of beans in a room in a house of some people you don't even fucking know because you're all poor. No, nobody's doing that. That doesn't even make sense. That's not how you hustle. That's how you stay on a systematic broke, systematic poor lifestyle. I didn't get this lifestyle by being broke and being poor minded. That's a poor mind. You see, that's not how you save money. Just because if you eat beans every day, guess what? You're going to be needing a lot of toilet paper because you're going to be using a lot of money on toilet paper. You're going to still need soap. You still need other things than just food to survive. You understand that, right? You need way more things than food to survive in this country. No, the Mexicans don't do it. No, Mexicans don't do it. Just because you see some Mexicans with a wad of cash when they pull up doesn't mean that they do it. That doesn't mean that they're doing anything. You don't know one Mexican that's in a room eating beans by himself and saving his money to do what? Go to college? No, they're not saving their money to go to college. They're not Mexicans eating beans in a room and staying with 10 Mexicans in one room. They're not saving their money to go to college. They're making their money and sending it back home to where they came from for their families. Okay. They're saving their money and they're all going to buy a house next. They're saving their money and they're all going to buy a car next. They're not saving their money to go to college. Okay. That's not what they're saving their money to do. So you can't have these one fits all solution for millions of people. That's I can tell you're privileged. I can tell you're privileged, and you're in a bubble. You don't really understand what you're saying right now, which is fine. You can say what you want to say, but I'm going to break it down for you and how it's wrong. These people don't do it. What do you mean do it? That doesn't make any sense when you say just do it, or Mexicans and Indians do it. They don't even do it. They don't do it. You can't show me an Indian family or Indian person, single person who has absolutely nothing, doesn't own anything, family doesn't own anything, comes to America out of the whim, finds an apartment, finds a job, and is able to survive by just eating beans and rice in a room. No one does that. I know plenty of immigrants that's here. I know Mexicans that's here. I know Indians that's here. They don't do that. They own businesses. Okay. They rent out properties. Okay. They have different motions and different flows of hustle. They don't just go get a job. Okay. They do different types of things than just working a job at Best Buy. That's not how, oh, trust me, bro. What do you mean trust me? No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Your situation is anecdotal. It's different than anybody else's. You can't compare what you did and say that anybody else can do it. That's not how that works. Okay. So let's break this down for you so you can understand this, because you're the type of person that needs to understand this. Nobody, I know you're trolling. I know you're trolling because now you're saying stop buying Jordans and eat beans. That doesn't make any sense. What are you even talking about? stop smoking weed and eating Chick-fil-A. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. You need to stop text. How about stop texting, stop writing on here before I get you to pull up here and talk and actually hear how you sound when you say this ridiculous thing? Because I know you're trolling. I know you're trolling. So let's break this down because I'm gonna do this for you. Let's see. Let's go back to the first thing you said. You said you're privileged. You are trolling. You said you're privileged. So you had the privilege. You got a degree, and you live in a black country part-time, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. You said you're privileged. No one's crying. I'm trying to give you the facts here. Okay. I grew up considered privileged, if you would say so. I didn't grow up in the hood. I didn't grow up, wondering what I'm gonna eat the next day. I didn't grow up trying to sell drugs in the hood. I grew up in an actually big, I guess you could say big house. It wasn't a mansion. We had basketball courts and we had pool. We have over 3 acres of land and 3-story houses. I mean, my house, I can show you the equivalent to what my house looked like. I can show you the equivalent to what my house looked like. So, no, let me see. This is equivalent to what my house looked like right here. Hold on, not that. Right here. That house right here. That house right there. That looks kind of like my house. Picture that house sitting on a large chunk of land somewhere. That's what my house looked like. I was not in the hood. I was not, malnourished or anything. And I still understand this. Okay. So I know you can understand this too. Now, maybe you can't understand this the way I understand this because I did go to an inner city school. Okay. If you're poor, get food stamps. No, if you're poor, you don't want to get on government assistance. That's what most people run to is those government assistance, but those assistance keep you poor. You can't sleep in a shelter. You can't go get housing or help from the church. That's not how it works. Not everybody gets approved for the shelter. Not everybody gets approved to sleep at the church. Okay. Not everybody can shack up. You don't have people you can just say, hey, let me stay with you. Hey, let me go stay with you. That's not something that is readily available for everybody. So your solutions legitimately don't work for anybody. You can't even name yourself 5 people that you can go to right now and live with for 2 to 3 years while you save up money. You can't do that. So stop texting stuff. We're gonna start with everything you said, and we're gonna go down the line. So you said anybody can do it, right? So if you're privileged, I was privileged. You got a degree, I got a degree. Okay. You went to school, I went to school. You got a job, I went and got a job. Yes, we can do that, but that's not how it's set up for everybody to do. Most people that are growing up, when you're 17, let's put it this way, you're 14 years old. Can you get a job in this country if you're 14 years old? Can you get a job? I want you to respond. Can you get a job at 14 years old? You can cut grass at 14 years old. Okay, what do you need to cut grass? You need what? A lawnmower, right? How much does a lawnmower cost? Okay. How much does a lawnmower cost? How much does a lawnmower cost? You're telling people to go cut grass and get a lawnmower. So that means lawnmowers cost anywhere from $200 to $300. So as a 14-year-old, you're supposed to come up with $300. Yes, you do need to buy a lawnmower because you're going to need that lawnmower to make your money. If you go borrow someone's lawnmower, you can't use the own. Not every owner has a lawnmower. See, now you're just throwing things out there to the wall that doesn't stick. Not everybody has their own lawnmower. I own the house. I don't have my own lawnmower. I pay somebody to come cut it for me. Not everybody owns a lawnmower. They have their own lawnmowers. Now you're going to be asking the person to use their lawnmower to cut it when the next person coming has their own lawnmower and can cut it for the same price or cheaper. So you can't just go up and just ask people that. You can't just go up and just assume people are just going to just hire you to cut their grass. There's competition. You understand there's competition out there of other people cutting grass for a low rate, for a very low rate, very low, $25 a yard, $10 a yard. So I don't know what you're talking about when you hit legal age, be a lot lizard. Now you want a person to go and tow cars and go and uh put what you call it boots on people's cars at the age of 18. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's go back. You're 14 years old. You can work, you can go get a job, you can go cut grass. Okay, let's say you got two siblings at the house, 3 and 5, and you got to watch them. Now, how easy it is it for you to go get a job? How easy is it for you to find work? Not to mention when you go look for a job, you got competition. You got other people looking for jobs. You got other people starting businesses. You got so many other factors, and you're lacking the education in your area because nobody's coming around teaching you how to run a business. Your parents didn't know how to run a business. Your cousins never ran a business. So now you're putting yourself out there to get swallowed up whole by the system, by fees, by different maintenance things. It costs money to run these businesses. You can't just sit here and act like it doesn't cost money to do all this stuff. Everything you're saying costs money. Everything you're saying costs money. So now you're telling people to sell their bodies to make ends meet or to make a living or save money. You have no morals. You have no morals. You have no moral code. You have no understanding. You have no body autonomy. You have no respect for yourself and no respect for others. You have no respect for others. Telling people to do OnlyFans, telling people to do sexual acts and other things for money. You have zero. That's not. You can't eat a can of beans and work. You yourself will not get a room, shack up in a room with 10 other people, eat beans and sleep on the floor and go to work every day so you can save money. You yourself would not do that. You would not do that. Don't even act like you would do that. And if you tried it, you will probably kill yourself. You'll probably hurt yourself. That's not the same thing. That's not work situations. I'm talking about where you live. I'm talking about where you live and where you go to. You would not go there, eat a can of beans in a room with 10 people living in that same room. You will not do that. Zero electricity is different. I'm talking about 10 people in the same room living for 2 to 3 years so you can save money. You're not doing that. You're not staying in that situation. So don't sit here and try to put that on everybody else and say they have to do it just because some illegal immigrants did it, just because some Indians did it, just because some people else did it. That doesn't make any sense to even try to put that on someone. Now, are there things you can do and sacrifices you can make so that you can save money and make money? Yes, there are. There are things and sacrifices that people can make. But at 14 years old, this is not something that is readily available to you as a 14-year-old just because you just became of legal age of, I think, 16. In some states you have to be 16 to get a job. If anyone knows, if let me know if it's 14 or 16 where you can get a job and you're legally able to work. Either way, both 14 and 16-year-olds are minors. They are not people that can these are kids, these are teenagers. Okay, they're not going to go and find $100,000 job and able to live on their own. They're going to work at McDonald's. They're going to work at Walmart. They're going to work at, I think Walmart, you got to be 18. So I don't even think they can work at Walmart. Like, these kids are going to be put in a situation, an environment where it's either go to school or work or sell drugs. Those three things. You can't do anything else. You try anything else, you can get killed. You can get, well, you already know, thrown in jail, whatever. So That, I mean, selling drugs, you can get thrown in jail too, but some people can get away with it. Sell weed, sell some pills. You can get away with that. You can make some money. McDonald's isn't always hiring. You can't always go to McDonald's. You can't always go to Burger King and get a job. They're not always hiring. Even if they are always hiring, they're not always having hours to work. You have to get available hours to work. You are a 14, 16, 17-year-old worker. You don't have much experience. You don't have many people giving you that word to get in the job. So guess what? You aren't going to get 40 hours a week. You're going to be cut to 20, maybe 10. Okay. You're not going to get those full-time hours. You're getting 10 hours a week. The minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Okay. Let's say you're getting $10 an hour and you're working 20 hours a week. That's $200 a week. Okay. In 4 weeks, that's what? $800 a month, roughly. So if you get $800 a month, do you know the average rent inside America? Average rent. The average rent is $1,633 a month. Okay? $1,600. You don't have a Jose to shack up with. Who is Jose? You made up a fake person that nobody knows, that doesn't exist. No, not everyone has someone that they can shack up with. I don't have no one I can go and shack up with and live with. You want me to call in my phone around people that need someone to live with and live with me? First of all, I don't like living with people. So if I'm gonna live with somebody, I gotta be very selective of who I live with. You can't always get a roommate. Then if you go online to find a roommate, it's going to be a random person. You don't know if that person's a serial killer or not. You don't know if that person's a rapist. You don't know. You can't just jump in a situation and think it's going to work out. That person could rob you. You don't know. You don't know these people. How you don't get a roommate? And now you're telling people to sleep outside and be homeless. You don't have solutions. And a lot of you people that talk like this don't have any real solutions. And that's the problem. You think, and it's mostly women are homeless. It's not even men. Who more likely to be homeless, men or women? Men make up a larger portion of individuals experiencing homelessness, and a higher percentage unsheltered individuals are male. However, with this number of women experiencing homelessness is smaller than men, their rate increases unsheltered homelessness has been significantly higher. So women's rate of homelessness is significantly higher, but men statistically have a higher chance of being homeless. So that means that women get homeless and they either go on government programs or they either get taken in by somebody, a family member or such. More, and which makes sense. More people are more willingly to take in a woman than take in a man if they're homeless. Between two homeless people, the woman is more likely to get taken in, to shack up, to have a roommate, do stuff like that. The man is less likely to have that situation. We can't just go by what you're saying, Melissa. We have to actually go by actual facts here, okay? So, yes, getting on welfare, homeless shelter, food stamps, those are mostly women things to do. That's mostly a thing that women go do. Men don't typically go and seek government assistance like that. Men weren't taught to go and get Section 8. Men weren't taught to go and go on welfare. We weren't taught that. We'd rather be homeless and eating a can of beans. No, any man, even white men don't do that. We'd rather be homeless, eating a can of beans on the side of the road, or at least sleeping in our car, versus going to welfare and going to Section 8 and doing that. I'm glad you get it now. Men, not just black men, all men aren't raised to get on government assistance. That's not what we're raised to do. So, yeah, you're going to have more homeless men than you have homeless women. But the rate of increase in unsheltered homelessness has been significantly higher for women, even with they're experiencing smaller homeless situations than men. So their rate is going up. So you have to understand that this isn't just a black man or a black woman problem. And you have to stop saying that, because that's what's going to lead you to defeat every time. That's not how it works. So let's go back to our example. You have a 14-year-old, you have, and now you're telling people to go to jail. See, this is if you're a white person, if I was a white person and we were talking about white people, would you tell them to go to jail to get 3 meals a day in a bed? No, you wouldn't say that. Would you tell your son this? Would you tell your son to go to jail? Would you tell your brother to go to jail? Your mother, your father, your cousin? Would you tell them to go to jail if say they came out on hard times and they was homeless? You would tell your own son, "Well, go to jail, do a crime, and go to jail." That's what you would do. Who's saying that they don't want a job and don't want welfare? What are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. No one's saying that. No one said anything about not wanting these things. No one said any of that. No one's saying that they don't want to work. I'm saying that jobs aren't always easy to find. People get laid off, People go on the unemployment line and don't make enough on unemployment because it doesn't pay enough. And then now you're telling them to go to jail. So if my job, if the company I work for closed doors, and I'm out of a job. Now I'm out of a job. I gotta look for a job. It's been 2 months. I haven't found a job. My rent's due. I'm getting evicted. I still haven't found a job. No one's hiring. If I haven't found a job in 2 months, that's 60 days. I get evicted from my apartment. I get evicted from my house. So I get evicted from my house. Now I'm homeless. Now I got to go beg people to stay with and shack up and do this and do that. Oh, I can just go to jail. Now I got to go to jail so I can eat. Are you hearing yourself right now? Are you hearing something right now? That doesn't make any sense. You can't just say, "Oh, that's the solution." That's not the solution. The solution is we can actually pay attention to what's going on here and stop it in its tracks, because you're telling people to not be human beings. You're telling people to pack themselves up in somewhere like a pack of sardines and just live with it. To go and just live on the street in the woods like some wild animals and just be okay with it. That's not how you. That's why you're in no position of power. That's why you don't have a real voice, because you're telling people to do retarded things that doesn't really help the situation. That's not the problem. That doesn't solve the problem. What happens when the jails are full and everybody's in jail and your tax dollars are paying for everybody in jail and they're full and they're all getting free food and there's not enough room for jails. Now they got to go build another jail. So they got to take more of your tax dollars to go build another jail because everybody that's homeless is in jail now. You're not making any sense. You're not really thinking in a fashion that is going to advance the community or advance the nation. I mean, of course, you're in Africa. You don't even know what you're talking about. You have no clue. What structure do you have where you're at? You say you're in Nigeria. What type of structure you got there that actually works? No, putting people in jail is not a solution. Okay, eating a can of beans in a room is not a solution. That doesn't mean you're going to save money. That doesn't mean you're going to reach success. That doesn't mean you're going to be financially independent. That doesn't mean any of these things that you're claiming that it means. It really means the opposite. It means you're going to stay poor. You're going to stay making bad decisions, and you're not going to go anywhere in life. That's what that means. So what you're saying is completely false. So again, I think you're trolling. I don't think you're telling the truth. You said you weren't trolling, but no. The problem we're going to discuss right now is exactly what this kid said. Exactly what this kid said. The average rent is $1,600 a month. $1,600 a month in America. So that means if you make $800, if you work at McDonald's and you make $14 an hour at McDonald's, and you're only getting about roughly 300 per week, 350 per week. Let's say you're getting 350 per week. you essentially, actually, you won't even get 350 per week making 14 an hour. If you work 40 hours a week making $14 an hour, you're getting roughly 40 100 and $242, $250 a week. A month, that's 1,000 a month. $250 is 1,000 a month. 250 a week times 4, 1,000 a month. $1,633 a month. You're not making enough. And you're working 40 hours a week at McDonald's, at Burger King, wherever. You got to make at least 17 average wage, average livable wage. Average livable wage is 23 per hour. Find me somebody that can make 23 per hour, $23 an hour, that's at the age of 16, 17, 18, freshly out of high school, can't afford to go to college, and can make that. No, you're not doing that. You're rarely doing that. With no experience, you're not getting 23 an hour. Okay. I started when I started what I do for my professional living, I was making 21. Okay. And I had a little bit of experience because I worked jobs and I worked hard to get in jobs. I went to interview after interview. It took me a long time to build my job resume the way I have it. And you need that experience to even go get a job nowadays. If you don't have experience, nobody wants to hire you because they don't trust you. $23 an hour. Since I started at 21, now my hourly wage is above 35. And that took 10 years to produce. Someone freshly coming out of college, freshly coming out of high school, they're not going to get that opportunity. They're going to get looked at and they're going to say, oh, you can intern for free. Oh, you can work. Let's start you at 16. We'll start you at 17. See what you do there. We'll see what you do at, 17, 16, 18 an hour. You need to make 23 an hour to be able to afford to live in this country. Okay. Most people ain't doing that. 23 an hour is roughly 45K a year, 45, 46K a year. Most people ain't doing that. Okay. A lot of people are making 30s, making less than 20s and stuff like that. You're not doing that here. So to just expect someone to work a job and eat beans doesn't mean that you're going to be able to live comfortably or even realistically in this country. It's very. So this is an issue with a lot of what people say to me about this situation is you don't even give yourself a perspective to look and say, hey, wait, if I was freshly out of high school and I had no experience, how easy would it be for me to go get a job? You said cut grass, Melissa. Okay, you want to cut grass. Let's go and let's see how many grass companies are in the area. Grass cutting companies in the US. Okay. Several national, local offer grass cutting. So you got all these national, you got all these companies. You got True Green, Brightview, Davy Tree Expert, Lawn Care, PGA Lawn Care, Lawn Starter, Lawn. These are just some of the large companies. These are the nationwide companies that you have to cut grass. These aren't the small mom and pop companies that you have that cut grass. You have hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of those. So, yeah, you can go and work your butt off and find you a customer, and you may find one or two. I know some local grass cutters, they'll find like one or two customers to pay to cut the grass once every 2 weeks. But you cut grass once a week. Okay. Then the next week, you don't need to cut that grass. Actually, maybe twice every month, we'll say you cut grass twice a month. So that means one customer you can't charge more than, depending on the size of the yard, I would say between 25 to $75, maybe up to 100, depending on how big the yard is to cut their grass. But most yards, you're looking around 25, $50 to cut their grass. Now, how many grass yards are you going to have to cut in order to make that $23 an hour? So $23 an hour, 40 hours a week. 23 is around $920 a week. So you're gonna have to make $920 a week just to meet the average, livable wage in America. You're gonna make that means if you're charging $25 a yard to cut, you're gonna need a yard each day. You're gonna need, if you do 50, even if you do 50, you're gonna need at least 2 to 3 yards a day for the 5-week workday, and you most of the time you're gonna have it on the weekends. But 2 to 3 yards per day, different yards, 2 to 3 different yards per day. That means you're going to need about 15 yards per week, roughly 15 yards. Well, really more than that, because 15 yards at $50 is only like what? Is 750. So you're going to need like 17, 18 yards per week to cut different yards per week. And then you're going to need another different eight. You're going to need at least 36 to 40 clients to make that. Do you think a 16-year-old is doing that? No, a 16-year-old isn't doing that. A 16-year-old is not able to get 40 clients, okay, in a matter of a few months, a few weeks to cut, and then have the time and have a car to drive around and lug around all that equipment. How are you going to lug around that equipment? So you can't just tell people, oh, go get a job. Oh, go do this, go do that. That's not how it works. That's an ignorant stance to take. And you're essentially just saying you don't care how a person lives. You don't care how a person survives the next day. Go and just live in a trash can and eat beans all day and cut grass and you'll be fine. No, that's stupid. That's like when my dad, like I told you, I grew up in a privileged house, but I wasn't a privileged kid. Okay. And I grew up, my dad told me to go work at McDonald's. That's one thing where he told me to go work at. And I told him, hell no. And he said, what's wrong with McDonald's? You think you better? I worked at McDonald's. Da, 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 da. No, I don't want to work at McDonald's because I have respect for myself. I know what my worth is. I know what I can make. I know what I can do. And McDonald's doesn't house the skill set that I have. So you telling somebody a one fits all type of solution that doesn't work for anybody, even the people that go work at McDonald's, they still end up broke. Even the people that go work at Walmart, they still end up broke. They still are in the poor situations. A lot of them are. Not saying you can't make it out of something like that. Of course you can, but it's very few, far and few between, make it out of a situation like that and are able to come out of it and on top. And even if you come out on top, there's still things that can hinder you and push you back with that. So you can't just tell somebody to go work at McDonald's, cut grass, do all these very, very low level skill set types of jobs and expect them to make something of their life. That's not how it works. So it's very ignorant and very annoying to hear somebody say it. And Melissa, I know you were trolling because you told people to go to jail. Like, come on now. You sound stupid. Like jail is even an option. Jail is not an option. Let's see. I want a video of them getting roasted. But yeah, This guy, he's not really educated on the matter, so he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But we're going to move forward. Oh, here we go. I'll be right back. So again, any of those outside the country that are looking into the situation, you listen included, you don't understand what's really going on the soil here. As you said, get off the streets. Don't Google nothing. Hit the jail line. That there's no jail line. There's no line to go in jail. Okay, you have to be arrested and taken to jail. So there's no jail line. Okay, so that's I can tell you don't really know what you're talking about. And you know, I don't have a problem with you sounding stupid. That's on you. You can sound dumb and belligerent and ignorant all you want to. That's on you. That's that you're that these are your comments. You're showing yourself. You're not showing anybody else but yourself. Okay, showing your ass is what we call it. Statutory at the state level, ordered from the state. As you see it, Trump is trying, or they're trying to impeach Trump. we here we're asking anyone out there just to understand this country was built on these type of crimes, these type of illegal acts, and you have people trying to defend the illegal acts and people trying to go after uh I guess those people, and it's just a back and forth. So it looks like looks like mayhem from the outside looking in. So I'm here to try to help understand for those that are outside the United States, help you understand what's really going on. Um, what are they talking about here? And wasn't Trump the one that said wasn't Trump the one that says we will be in a war if Biden was reelected? We are going straight to war. And look, we're going straight to war within just 6 months of him being president. We're going back into war. This is the man that said he's going to have peace. He's going to have this. He's going to have that. World War III is getting ready to be announced. India was just attacked Iran. Now Israel is attacking Iran. Russia is still attacking Ukraine. We got the border going crazy. Yeah, it's about to be a World War III. Why are we listening to this? Why are we listening to this person? Why is this person still giving camera time, giving screen time, and we know he's lying straight to our faces? That's the crazy part. Go ahead and like the screen, like the channel here. We're having just a general discussion. We're just having a live discussion. If you have a point, if you have a video you want to watch, bring it up in the chat. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. We'll talk about different things. We'll go all around. We're going all around and talking about everything. Hmm. Hmm. Thank you. He knows what he's talking about. This caller knows what he's talking about. the true history will be told anyway. So we got somebody that has a little bit of sense of what they're talking about how Mexicans, Spanish people, you're not really Spanish, you're indigenous. You're not really Mexican, you're indigenous to these lands, which I told y'all already about this in a previous episode. I showed you the map of what the Americas looked like before colonization, before slavery. And I can bring it up again. I'll show it to you again. I don't mind doing that. But these are facts. These are facts, people. You have to learn this and you have to let it stick. When you hear people call each other black, Latino, Hispanic, know that these are filler words. These are created words by our government to divert each other, to disperse, to divide us because we all were grouped together. Now they want to divide us so that we don't know our true history and we don't come together as one. That's what they want. So yeah, people, we if you're melanated, if you got melanin, and no, the darker your skin doesn't mean the more melanin you have. It's the type of melanin you have. Okay, we have neuromelanin, we have exoskeleton melanin, we have all types of melanin through our body. It's a chemical compound that we all contain. It does not mean that because you're darker or you're lighter or whatever the amounts of melanin you have. That's not how it works. But people, we all are descendants of the indigenous folks here. If you're melanated on this earth, we are the descendants of this land, and we are the true owners and the true bestowers of this land. Point blank, period. No one else can trace their heritage back like we can trace it back to the original people of this land. I have documents, and I've said this before on here. I have documents that show land purchases from my family back before 1700s to white settlers that came in who purchased the land from us, parts of South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, purchased land from my family, okay, One of them is called Chandler, the Chandler family. I can bring up the Chandler family. I have documents. I have to go and get them there at my other house. But these people purchased land from us. We sold land to them so that they could live, so they could have a place to stay. We were kind to them, kind enough to sell our land to them and give them a plot of land. They used that in turn against us, sent more settlers here, disease, murder, massacre, enslavement, all of that happened after that. We all know. But it's traceable. It's traceable back because they had to separate each and every culture back to the lineage. They had to separate everyone to be able to create black, to create Negro, to create colored folks. They had to separate everyone, erase your true name, erase your true heritage, erase your true history. They had to do this in order to create this so-called country we had. That's what they had to do. We know that happened. What else happened today? Oh, let's see this guy get. Oh, yeah. Damn. Yo. My man suplexes. Y'all see that? Yo, hold on a second. Start that over. Oh. What did he do? He threw something and ran blue. Yo, he shouldn't have turned his back. Yo, he got fucked up. He got fucked up. Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, he went to India. We'll look at that later. Let's see. Okay, let's look at here. History of North Carolina. Hold on. Go back. Go back. Because it just showed y'all something. It just showed y'all something. Look at this. Look at this right here. I want y'all to see this. Because this looks like the map that I was telling you about. You see all this land over here? This wasn't sold yet. This wasn't taken yet. This is what the real Americas was. These are the British colonies where they came and they started killing people and doing all that other bullshit. You see, it shows you right here. They're briefly showing you how things formed here and how things progressed. Because you had North Carolina. These were one of the first few. Virginia, North Carolina was where, in South Carolina was where they first landed. Okay. And like I said, I have documents of land being stolen and shipped off and sold in these areas by my family. And there's other families. They broke up my entire tribe, doesn't even exist anymore. What do you have here? The Suwannee, the Simpsons, Redstone. Hold on. Hold on. Folsom, Redstone, Cumberland, Barnes, Suwannee, Simpson. These areas, these were pre-American, pre-British colonization. Right here, you see. I'm not telling no lies. No lies here on Club Big Mogul. Let us don't continue. Onata, Oneota, Fort Ancient. You have all these names. These aren't American names. This is pre. This predates everything. Mississippi, Mississippian. These are not American cultures. These are the cultures that existed before America was formed. Again, take listen. Notice they don't tell you anything about the people before these people showed up. Notice that. They don't tell you anything. You had heard nothing. He had a whole 2 minutes and 26 seconds to talk about the people that were here before. You heard nothing about the people that were here before those senators showed up. So what does that tell you? The brainwashing has already started. I want y'all to see this. What does that say right there? Croatoan, Roanoke colony vanished between 1587 and 1590. This was a colony. 115 settlers disappeared without explanation. What do you think happened? If 115 settlers disappeared and a colony vanished, that means it was attacked. That means that the indigenous people in that area took down that colony. That's what that means. They won't even tell you. They know what happened. Yeah. Watch a movie. Oh, yeah, that's what you're watching, man. As you see here, these people came here. They didn't show no visas. They didn't have no passport. They didn't have no documentation. And they just set up a colony and considered themselves citizens or whatever they consider themselves. So you can't sit here and be just so indifferent and so mad at people doing the same thing. We have to deal with it properly and we have to address every single thing. So I'm actually told I got to cut this short. Well, actually wasn't told. I'm making the decision to cut this now. We've been on for 3 hours and a half hours. We've been on long enough, but we had a good discussion. A lot of craziness, a lot of mayhem. Hope you learned something today. Hope you gained some knowledge. We're going to be back on probably tomorrow, Saturday, talk some more, go into deeper discussions about some things. I do want to drill more into these coons, these useful tools for white supremacy, these people out here that are just confused about nationality versus race versus religion, all of that. We're gonna tackle everything. Make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you like the channel, like the show. Stay tuned for more. We got more coming on here on Club Built Mogul. It's been cool with you. We're gonna end this now. Y'all take care. Be safe. Prepare for the weekend. It's gonna be some crazy stuff happening over the weekend. We're gonna talk about it all here on the channel. Appreciate all y'all participated. Like the channel. Continue to show love. We're gonna have pretty soon all the subscribers. Everybody new. We're gonna have game shows. We're gonna have contests. We're gonna have some things you can participate in. So check back in with us. Stay cool. You know, keep your head in the game, head on the swivel. We out. Ooh.